In the last video I made concerning the Kosher Switch, I demonstrated how the Kosher Switch can be used in combination with a timer, where lights and appliances can be programmed by a timer on Shabbos as usual, but yet you would have the ability to use the Kosher Switch to override. If you have not yet watched that video, I would recommend that you watch it because some of the components I use there, I will be using here. Recently, someone who had viewed that video had asked about using the Kosher Switch for a chairlift for people who are disabled, who use an electric stairs to go up and down. Unfortunately, I do not have a set of electric stairs to experiment on, so in lieu of that, I'm going to show you how you could use the Kosher Switch to control low voltage switches, whether it requires momentary or continuous contact, and therefore I'm going to be demonstrating on my garage door. My garage door switches with momentary contact, meaning normally you would press a button to open the garage, press a button to close the garage, the same button, just as you would press a button, say, to ring a doorbell. So what I've done is, just as I did in my previous video, I set up the Kosher Switch in combination with a home control system, and in this case I used the X10. Now over here I have hooked the Kosher Switch into a box, and on the other side I've hooked up an outlet. I also broke the tab in the outlet, so therefore the top outlet is switched by the Kosher Switch and the bottom one is not, and this here is a 2-conductor wire, and what's happening is I am using the X10 power flash module, which will in turn send a signal to throughout the X10 system to a receiver module. And over here I've taken a receiver module, this is called the universal module, and I've hooked it up parallel with my garage door. Now if I could just show you for 1 second, if I simply bypass these 2 wires here, which I'm going to do right now. Let's see, here we go. The garage door has opened, and now I'm going to close it again by bypassing these same 2 wires. Now, the X10 universal module can be set to momentary contact or continuous contact. So since my intent is to open up a garage door, it is going to be on momentary contact. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to wait for the green light on the Kosher Switch to turn green, which you just did. So I will flip it up. This will send a wireless signal to the power flash interface, which will in turn send a signal to the universal module. Just have to wait and see how long it takes to do so. I have no way to... There it goes. My garage door has gone up. Now, in order to bring my garage door back down, I would again have to switch the switch to on. So since it's already on the on position, I have to switch it to the off position first. So make sure it's green, switch it down, and I have to actually wait until it sends an off signal before I could switch it back to on. And I have no way of knowing how long that's going to take. I'm actually just sitting here and waiting. Guess it takes a little while to send the off signal. There, it has gone off. Now again I have to make sure the light is green. Nice. Switch it on. And again, within a few minutes, my garage door will go down. There we go. It set momentary contact and the garage door went down. Now let's say I want to control something low voltage which requires continuous rather than momentary contact, such as this transistor radio. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my wires, remove them from the garage door. I am going to now switch the powerhouse module to continuous contact by flipping this switch over here. I'm taking the radio, turning it on. What I am doing now is I'm taking the battery from the transistor radio and disconnecting one terminal only. There, now I have one terminal disconnected. So I'm taking the universal module, hooking it up to the other terminal of the battery, hooking it back up to my radio. And what I'm going to do now is, when I switch on the Kosher Switch, it's going to turn on the radio, but yet the radio will be using its own internal 9-volt battery. So here, the light is green on the Kosher Switch. Well, it just turned red again, so I'm going to have to wait. Turn green, flip it up, and again I'm going to wait a few minutes. And taking a little bit of time. That's normal for the Kosher Switch. Yes, now the Kosher Switch has switched on, and so has my radio, as you can clearly hear. Now I'm going to turn it right back off by simply making sure the light is green and flipping the switch to off. And again, within a few minutes, my radio, working on its own battery, is going to go off. That went off within a few seconds. Now obviously, as I stated at the beginning, I do not have a chairlift to experiment on or look at. So if you're going to use this arrangement on a chairlift, you would have to look at the controls and wire it in parallel with the switches, whether it's momentary or continuous contact. And thank you very much.